Good evening, traders. I hope all of you are doing incredibly well. It's your boy CryptoCam here, and in today's video, we're going to talk about rules you must follow in order for you to be successful while trading on Bitmex. Now, these are the rules that I put together by learning from my personal experience while trading Forex, while trading cryptocurrencies. I made these mistakes myself, and I will obviously suggest you guys not to repeat these mistakes and follow these rules in order for you to be amazingly successful while trading on Bitmex. Again, let's start it straight away without wasting any time whatsoever. So, most importantly, rule number one is always invest 10. Sorry, I'm multitasking, so you're gonna have to bear with me as well. So, rule number one is always invest 10 to 15% of your portfolio into a position. So once you enter a trade, do not put all your, like, let's say for example, if you have one Bitcoin in your trading account, don't just put one Bitcoin in your first trade. Always trade with 10 to 15%, maximum 20% of your portfolio in every trade that you trade on. Okay, that's really important. And also, do not hold positions for hours and hours and weeks and days and months. No, I mean, there are people, I know people who are doing that, and they're amazingly successful in that as well. But if you're following our strategies, according to our strategy, see, we are not here to do romance with, we're not here to do romance with Bitmex. Our job is to come in, take profits, pull out, see you later. That's our strategy, okay? So never try to hold your positions. As soon as you're in profits, 10, 15%, 20%, pull out, take your profits out and wait for the next trade, next signal. Really important. Again, really important that, I've made this mistake myself, and I know hundreds of people who have made this mistake and they've blown their account. I have personally blown my account on this mistake as well, which is not using stop losses. Once you're following our signals especially, or even if you're trading yourself, always use stop losses. Use them stop losses. If you're following our signals, obviously we'll give you stop losses, we'll give you entries, and we'll give you take profits. So use them stop losses. If you're following your own analysis, use 7 to 10% and as stop loss. Obviously, depending upon your leverage. More the leverage, smaller the stop loss, bigger the leverage. Smaller the leverage, bigger the stop loss. That's how simple it is. Sorry, I'm just trying to multitask. Like I said, I'm trying to update my group as well. Do not trade. The next topic is do not trade against the trend. I know, including myself, I'm guilty of this mistake as well. I used to do that quite a lot. I've learned from my mistakes. I've learned the hard way. Do not trade against the trend. If trend is, let's say, upwards, always look for buy entries. Do not go for sell entries, and vice versa when the trend is downwards. Again, really important that sometimes you will see, whether you trade Forex or crypto, especially in Bitmex, really important. If the market is fluctuating a lot, it's going up like crazy, going down like crazy, do not open a position. Because remember, at times, sometimes no trade is better than losing trade. You rather not trade on that day or on that minute, on that hour, than put a trade in and lose out, because it's not worth it. Remember, there'll be plenty of signals that are going to be given you guys, and you'll have enough opportunities to make enough money. So do not trade when the market is extremely volatile and it's just going crazy. It's fluctuating big time. Sorry, just trying to update my messaging. I had this group, again, this TWC group. I just want to put a signal in there. I'm trying to short Bitcoin. I was just doing analysis before this. Anyways, again, very important. Where was I? So yeah, the next important thing is the leverage. So let's make sure that if you're using high leverage, as soon as you make 10 to 15%, boom, close your trade. Especially if you're new, 10 to 15% take profit, go on to next trade. 10 to 15% take profit, go on to next trade. Especially if you're using bigger leverage. If you follow lower signals, 90% of our signals, we tell you to use 10 to 20% leverage. But let's say some people are using higher leverages, 25%, 50%. Even when you're new, ideally take 10 to 15% profit, get out of the market, wait for the next signal. I'll give you a hypothetical example. If you're just taking 10 to 15% profit on each trade that we're giving you, we give out 3 to 4 signals a day. That means 30 to 40% profit a day. That means 1,000 to 1,200% profit in a month. Let's say you only do half of them trades, you only catch half of the signals. That's still 500 to 600% return on a monthly basis, which is absolutely crazy, which is ridiculous amount of money. So do not be greedy and don't try to bloody chase um, every single out there, every what do you call it? Don't try to bloody hold a position for long for, to hit TP2s and 3s and 4s, because even by, like I said, by 10 to 15%, you're making some incredible amount of profits from this, from Bitmex margin trading. You know, like I said again, you don't have to stick to, let's say once we give you guys signals, you don't have to stick to them signals. Okay, for example, I'll give you an example of Tron. Let's say you buy Tron at 300, we give you a signal for Tron at 300 sats, and we give you a TP for um, we give you a TP for 305 and the 310, and you buy at now right now the Tron is going up to 304, and what you call it, you see it starts coming down. You don't have to wait for it to hit 305. You're already in profit by about, I don't know, 30-40%. You can just close the trade there and just enjoy the 40% profits. Another thing is, let's say for example, a lot of times like to go, a lot of people like to wait for take profit 2 and 3 and 4. There is no harm in doing so. But if you're a kind of person who like to take them sort of risks and wait for take profits 2s and 3s and not close your position and take profit 1, you must follow the strategy. So as soon as, let's say, same hypothetical example of Tron, you bought Tron at 300 sats, we give you a take profit 1 for 305 and take profit 2 for 310. So let's say as soon as it goes up to 305, 306, 307, now it's up to 308. Now, what we want you to do is improve. What we will tell you to do, and this is what you must do, is take your stop loss from 297 sats, which is the stop loss that we've given you, and take it up to the first take profit, which is 305. In that case, if the trade keeps going up, you're in a win-win situation. It's going to hit 310, and then you can close it there. You've hit your TP2. But having said that, if the trade changes the direction, it starts coming down, you don't lose out. You're still in profits, and it will just close at 305, which means that you've already hit your TP1. So always use that strategy, as that strategy is really, really, really helpful and really important. But as the new traders, if you're trading for the first time, I always say this, just try to hit your take profit 1 and pull out, and just pull out. You don't have to wait for your take profits 2s, because I gave you an example before. By even 10 to 15% profits, you're making some phenomenal amount of money on the daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Really important. Once we give you guys signals, and let's say you miss out on the signal and you saw a signal half an hour down the line or hour down the line, please do not enter in the wrong position, wrong timings. Do not enter at the wrong position, at wrong prices. If you missed out on the signal, no problems. Don't chase it. Don't be greedy. Wait for the next signal, because there will always be a next signal that will be followed by that you'll have. There'll be hundreds of more signals, in fact. So it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. Having said that, let's say if we give you a signal, let's say same. We'll give you the same. We'll use the same hypothetical example of Tron. We give you a signal to buy Tron, let's say 298 sats to 300 sats. That was our signal. And right now you see the price is 302 sats. And what you can do is you can put a buy limit at 3 or 298 or 300 sats. You can put a buy limit there. And if it hits that buy limit and starts going back up again, that's fair enough. But don't enter at 302 expecting that I'm going to hit my 305 TP. No, that's wrong strategy. So don't chase signals. If you miss out on a trade, not a big deal. There will be another trade following very soon. At last, I want to mention this, is that a lot of traders make this mistake. They don't have no targets. Always set your targets, set your daily targets, set your weekly targets and your monthly targets. And as soon as you hit them targets, whether that's 5% a day, 10% a day, 100% a day, it doesn't matter. It's going to be realistic depending upon how much time you can give as well. Set yourself a target. As soon as you achieve that target, do not follow more signals. Don't follow more signals. Just come out of the market, close your Bitmex, just close your laptop, go out there, enjoy yourself, enjoy your weekend, a day or evening or whatever time you're trading, and just switch off. Because once you come back, you'll be a lot more fresh, and you'll come up with a target, you'll hit that target again. But if you keep on trading 24/7, if you're over trading, you're following every signal that they're giving you, what's going to happen is it's going to drain you down, and then you'll sort of start making mistakes, which will really costly. And like I said, I've been a victim of that as well. I'm not sort of shy to admit that, because I made these mistakes, and these are the mistakes that you can learn from. So set your target. As soon as you hit that daily target, the weekly target, the monthly target, come out of the market, start again the next day, next week, and next month. And that way you'll be able to grow your portfolio long term. You'll be able to have a lot of success in your trading career. You know, I want to mention this as well, because there is no doubt about it. And once you're trading on Bitmex is sort of, there's a lot of money to be made on Bitmex. You know, people talk about leverage. They talk about 10x and 20x and 50x leverage. And people think, yes, there's crazy money to be made. And that is true. Having said that, remember, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, because the higher the reward, the higher the risk as well. So if you are not following these rules, and if you're not following our strategies, then you can potentially lose 10%, 20%, 50%, or even 100% of your funds into from your account as well, by making these mistakes and by not taking these precautions. So please make sure that you take these rules really seriously, because these rules would help you succeed in your trading journey. I just want to make sure that I see each and every single one of you amazingly successful. Our aim is simple. We don't want to change the world. We don't want to change millions of people's life. Our aim is to help 1,000 people to become better traders, where they can be amazingly successful and they can make six figures in the next 6 to 12 months trading on Bitmex, following our signals. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy our content. If you have any more questions, feel free to give us a shout out. All the details will be in the description below. If you're not part of our trading group as of yet, if you have not subscribed to our channel, feel free to do so. Subscribe to our channel, click on the bell icon so you can get all the updates and the information that you need in order for you to be amazingly successful, and so you can follow each and every single video as soon as you put them on YouTube. Also, don't forget to join our Telegram group and also our Facebook group, where you can see people making where you can see some live testimonials where people are making good 20, 30, 40, 50% on their accounts, and they're making an incredible amount of growth in their assets and in their trading accounts. Because I'm a strong believer that seeing is believing. So you guys will be able to have amazing success in your trading journey. I want to thank you all. I want to wish you all a fantastic weekend, a fantastic trading career. And if you have any more questions, reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help and suggest you guys on what direction to move forward to, and how you can benefit from trading on Bitmex. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you all very soon. Take it easy.